Hey, this is Leif Gamford. I played the cash register thief in The Amazing Spider-Man, and you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast.
Hey, this is Rich McDonald, and I play Commander David Mason on Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And you're listening to Everything Geek podcast.
Hello, I'm Simon Fisherbecker. You probably know me better as Dorian Moldavar from Doctor Who, or the Fat Friar from Harry Potter. And this is Everything Geek Podcast.
Your attention, masters, mistresses. All systems functional for the Everything Geek Podcast.
Hey, it's James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Plo Koon in Star Wars The Clone Wars, and you're listening to Everything Geek, the podcast.
Face it, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot with the Everything Geek podcast.
Hello everyone, you're listening to the Everything Geek podcast. I'm your host Ruari, and joining me today is a very special guest. We have actress Cissy Jones, who provided the voice of Katjaa, Jolene, Brie, Shel, Dee and Linda in the Walking Dead Telltale Game, Norma in the Walking Dead Michonne Telltale Game, Delilah in Firewatch, Kelsey Brannigan in The Wolf Among Us, Nora Fries in Season of Infamy, and Dr. Duff and Dr. Patricia in Fallout 4. Cissy, how are you?
I am really well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you join us today on the podcast.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So getting right into my first question for you, Cissy, how did you decide you wanted to become an actress?
Oh, well, I think I always knew I wanted to, but I remember telling my dad when I was like 6 years old that I wanted to be an actress, and his first response was, no. So I went about kind of a more traditional route, and I went to college for business and Spanish, and moved down to San Francisco and worked in the Bay Area in the Silicon Valley for about 10 years and hated it. And found a nearby voiceover school, started taking classes, and 2 years later, I quit my day job, and I've been doing this full-time ever since.
That's a really interesting story, and it's really interesting when you just feel like you know you're born to do something, and yet others don't want you to do it. That's a very interesting thing.
It was really cool, and I feel really lucky that I found it. I was 30 when I made the switch, which is a little bit, later to make a big career change like that. But it's been the best thing for me. I actually enjoy waking up now, where I used to, every time my alarm clock went off, it was just that like, oh God, but now I'm much happier. So it's been a really good move.
That's good. Now you just leap out of bed, no questions asked. Wish I could say the same.
Some days are better than others, but yes, for the most part, it's very much that.
Yeah, that's really good in any case. So
yeah.
Moving on to my second question. You've done a bit of both in your career, so I just wanted to ask you, which do you prefer, on-camera acting or voice acting?
I've actually never done on-camera. The on-camera credits that I have are voiceover parts in an on-camera show. So I think I have a credit for Good Luck Charlie, which was a Disney show, but I'm a phone operator. So the main character called a phone number, and I'm the voice on the other end of the line, and things like that. So I've never done on camera, and honestly, I have no desire to. I really, really love voiceover. I love that I can be 7 different characters in a franchise like The Walking Dead. Whereas on camera, unless you're Tatiana Maslany in Orphan Black, you really don't get that much option. So I love voiceover, and I will do it until the day I die, God willing.
Yeah, well, it's good to know that you're so passionate about voice acting anyway, and that is the beauty of voice acting. As you said, you can do so many different characters and do so many different voices, and if the actor, in your case, we know that you do it very well, you can do so many different voices and people won't even know it's the same person. So,
well, thank you. Then hopefully I've done my job right.
Yeah, you have. You fooled a lot of people, believe me.
Thank you.
Yeah, fooled me for a long time as well.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just it's so much fun, and every day is different. And I don't know. For me, that's it. It's the gravy. I love it.
Yeah. The gravy on the roast dinner. It's just that good.
It is.
Yeah. So moving on to my next question: how were you initially cast in the Walking Dead Telltale Game?
So I got the audition from my agent in San Francisco, like we all did. So when they were first casting for The Walking Dead season 1, they sent out a big packet of all the characters to all the women for the female roles and all the men for the male roles. So I auditioned for Clementine, I auditioned for Lily, I auditioned for Carly, and I auditioned for Katjaa. And they heard something that they liked in my initial audition, but the accent wasn't quite right. So they sent it back with a note saying, we really like her, but we're a little worried about the accent. So I went out, and I had a Belgian friend at the time, and I basically followed him around with a tape recorder and made him talk a lot. And he probably hated me, but that helped me figure out what pieces of the accent I could borrow, and then I submitted my second audition and booked the role.
That's handy that you had a Belgian friend, because if someone asked me to do a Belgian accent, I won't know where to begin.
It is a little bit different.
A good kind of different.
No, yeah, definitely. But there's a lot of, resources online and stuff too, which is really fun, so I was able to also Google for different characters, Googling what other accents sound like, and that's come in really handy.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine so. Did you expect to end up landing so many roles when you were originally booked for the game?
No. I had just started my career as a voice actor, and Katjaa was actually my first role, like out the gate. And I was so excited. I mean, it was The Walking Dead. It's like the biggest thing since Star Wars, So I was really excited. And then when they called me in for Jolene, which was the second character that I booked, I felt like I won the lottery. And then it just kind of kept going, which was awesome. I got to work with some really great people. The director was just awesome. The sound engineer was fantastic. And, everybody was so cool. The directors, that's where I met Sean Vanneman, who eventually left and started Campo Santo, which just released Firewatch. So, it kind of started this really amazing chapter in my life and my VO career. So no, I wasn't expecting it, but oh my God, I'm grateful every day for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not everyone can say they've voiced 7 characters in one project after all. And that's a really interesting comparison you made as well, calling The Walking Dead the biggest thing since Star Wars, because, Star Wars is my favorite thing, so,
Well, and I'm sure there are people that will fight me on that, but,
Yeah.
You've got the comic books, the television series, the multiple video games. It's just a cultural zeitgeist. I mean, I live right near Universal Studios, and they have a, Walking Dead themed Halloween thing every year, which it's just crazy how prolific it is right now in pop culture. So I literally remember getting that email, Cissy Jones, The Walking Dead, Katjaa booked. And I was like, wah! I called my husband and I started screaming and jumping up and down like a 2-year-old. It was great.
Yeah. I almost feel bad for your husband. I can only imagine how that sounded.
Yeah, I know. Poor guy.
No, I'm sure he enjoyed it. Well, that's what he's there for. He's there to enjoy things you take pleasure in.
He
Same with
is.
you. You take
Yeah,
pleasure in the things he likes.
exactly.
I just made that sound very weird. That's not my kind of talk. Okay, so on a subject I know a little bit more about. So, moving on to my fourth question. Between The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead Michonne, you voiced 7 characters for The Walking Dead Telltale Games, as we've just been discussing, more than any of the other cast members. Why do you think you've been asked to voice this many characters, and which have been your favorites to voice if you had to pick?
Um, why do I think I've been asked to do this many characters? I don't know. I I I guess they liked what they heard in my audition. I think it also helps moving, after my initial couple of roles with them, they know me and they know that I am able to take direction and I'm able to get the characters that they need to ship. So that helps a lot, having a familiarity and, you know, working in sessions almost becomes shorthand because they can just kind of give me a little tweak and we go. If I had to pick a favorite, I mean, Katjaa changed my life, and I love her. I will always love her. But it was also really, really fun to be Jolene because she was so absolutely insane, and that was a lot of fun.
Those are 2 very good choices, and it's interesting what you were saying about the familiarity aspect as well with, the crew, because I'm pretty sure on The Walking Dead Michonne, from reading the cast list, I'm pretty sure you're the only cast member on Michonne that voiced in the main game, so, it definitely would be good to have someone familiar, among
Yeah.
so many new cast members in that list.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was really nice to come back to the universe because I had done just a brief spot in season 2 with Shel and the House intercom voice or whatever. But it was really quick, so it was really nice to come back to the universe and work with Telltale again and just kind of get immersed back into this dark, crazy, twisty world.
I'm sure a person must have been speaking on that intercom. Maybe we should say that's your 8th character.
Yep, that's right.
Theoretically, it can't be like a robot or something.
Nope,
Even
that
though
would
it's
be
an
me.
intercom. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're just going to have to find out that mystery about who was on the intercom.
We'll just call her the House intercom lady.
Yeah, that works. That works. And now we'll have to make a wiki page and officially announce that that's your 8th character. Well, technically Norma would have become your 8th character, but you know what I mean.
Right, yeah.
And here's a long-winded question for my 5th question. While you voiced a few minor antagonists in The Walking Dead, those that were only in one episode, Jolene being an example, Norma in The Walking Dead Michonne is your first major antagonist in The Walking Dead universe. What is it like playing a main antagonist, and can we expect to find out more about Norma in the final episode of Michonne?
Yes, you will definitely find out more about her. And it was really fun to be on the other side of the coin. Like you said, for most of the time, Katjaa was very sweet and kind of took care of everybody. And Shel, was very protective of Becca and tried to be the good person and do the right thing. And I think, Norma, even though she is an antagonist, she is trying to do the right thing by her people. But she just is a terrible person going about it. So it's been really fun, to be the one that everybody hates because it's not a role that I've played much. But it's been really interesting to see people's reactions to it, especially right after Firewatch came out. And I'm Delilah in Firewatch, who a lot of people really enjoyed, and then being like, wait, you're Delilah, and then Norma? Like I really liked you, and now I kind of hate you. So that's been fun.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because I find, one of the things I really do like about The Walking Dead, be it the TV show or the video games or what have you, is that there's really no actual bad characters most of the time. Like Norma, as you say, she could be trying to do the right thing. She's just doing it in a really bad way. I mean, for one thing, she just can't keep Randall in check at all.
Right,
That's a
well.
bad thing in itself.
Yeah, he's a loose cannon.
Yeah. He's one of the few I'd say would be bad anyway, and not trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just something I really do like about the Walking Dead characters. Most of them, even the villains, they're trying to do the right thing. They just
Yeah.
do it the wrong way.
Exactly. I mean, if you dig into what their motivations are, it's survival and, taking care of the things and the people that they love. And some people have a kinder way of going about doing that.
Look at it this way: Norma hasn't become Rick and ripped out anyone's throats yet, so.
Not yet.
Not yet. Is that a tease?
Maybe.
So
you'll just have to play episode 3 and find out.
Yeah, okay. I can wait a few more days. So moving on to my next question, and this isn't a Walking Dead one, it's any project specifically, any project you want to talk about. I mean, do you have any interesting or funny stories from working on any project that you would like to share?
Oh my gosh, there's a ton, and we could talk about this stuff all day, but I promise not to take too much of your time. I think probably the most interesting thing for me since I started doing voiceover is, especially recording video games, how often it's very much a solitary thing. You usually record on your own, and they mash your lines together with whoever else is in the game. And you may meet another actor 2 years down the road and be like, oh, you were in that game and I was in that game. And it's like, oh, cool. Okay, well, nice to meet you. Bye. But with The Walking Dead, season 1 in particular, it was such an intense experience that the other actors, Melissa Hutchison, who is Clementine, and Owen Thomas, who's Omid, and Mara Juno, who is Krista, and Gavin Hammond, who's, of course, Kenny, we all got to be friends from it. We all would meet up and grab drinks and kind of commiserate about this crazy experience and how intense it was and how emotional it was, which is just something that doesn't happen in a lot of video games. So for me, not only was Katjaa my first role at the gate and changed my life, but because of that experience, I also met these people that I still talk to almost every day and have become really good friends of mine. So that in and of itself makes the experience for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I mean, you just don't really expect that when you go in for a video game, especially when you don't record with anyone else, because that is such an uncommon thing in voiceover. I mean, it's becoming a little bit more common now, I notice, where if some TV shows or video games do try and bring the whole cast together to record, but is still a very rare thing. And so, the fact that you've all ended up becoming friends even afterwards is really amazing, to be honest.
It is. And it's, they're really good people. The voiceover community is just filled with amazing people. So I'm really, really fortunate to call those people friends. And I have done a couple of other joint recording sessions, like for the Batman Arkham Knight season of Infamy. As Nora Fries, I recorded in the same booth at the same time as Maurice LaMarche, who is Dr. Freeze, who is also the Brain from Pinky and the Brain and like the voice of my childhood. So getting to sit next to him while I recorded was a dream come true. And then, of course, Firewatch was all recorded simultaneously. Rich recorded from his home studio and I recorded from my home studio. But yeah, so it is becoming a little more common, but the degree of camaraderie that came with season 1 of The Walking Dead is unparalleled.
Just it would have been funny if the first time you all were brought together and you ended up not liking any of them. That would have been really bad.
Well, then we wouldn't all still be friends.
Yeah, exactly. And you wouldn't talk every day, as you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just as well.
Exactly.
But you all ended up becoming really good friends out of it. So my final question for you, Cissy, is do you have any upcoming acting roles or any other projects that you would like to talk about?
There's so many, and I can't talk about any of them because they're all under NDA. I'm obviously crazy excited about Delilah and Firewatch. Adrift just released for Oculus Rift, and I'm the main character in that one as well as a side character. Both are just absolutely stunning, deeply personal, beautiful games. And in terms of stuff upcoming, I can't talk about any of it. But yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's still really good, and that's great that you booked, a main character role. Is that your first main character role?
Delilah, yeah, she is my first. And then Alex Oshima from Adrift was my second.
Eventually, and probably in the next The Walking Dead miniseries, you'll be voicing the main character in that one.
I would be okay with that.
Let's face it, Telltale have booked you so many times. Eventually, they probably will give you a main character.
Are you listening, Telltale? That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. If not, I'm going to send them this interview and, just create a hashtag or something, Facebook page, and make them, get you as a main character.
That would be wonderful.
So that's all of my questions for you, Cissy, but I see on my Facebook page that we have a couple of comments from a Facebook fan of your work. Jose has a couple of questions. First of all,
Okay.
Did you like returning to the Walking Dead universe when you voiced Norma in the Michonne miniseries?
Yeah, it was like we talked about just a minute ago. It was really nice to come back. A lot of familiar names on the other end of the line. I recorded from Los Angeles and they're in San Francisco. So, there were a lot of people that I knew up in San Francisco on the phone as I was recording in LA. And that's just a really nice kind of homecoming.
And he also has a second question, which is a bit more of an interesting one, and a complex one, which I'm not sure how you'll answer, but I feel obliged to ask it anyway, because it's nice that people leave us questions. So
Right.
his question is, how would it sound if your Walking Dead characters met Detective Brannigan from The Wolf Among Us?
Well, it depends on which one. I mean, if you got Jolene in the interrogation room, she's going to be real angry. She's going to be angry. And Kelsey Brannigan would say, all right, I understand you're angry. I do, but come on, you got to give us something to go on. We could go for like the next half an hour, but we'll keep it short.
Maybe give us Katjaa as well, and then we'll let you go.
Katjaa wouldn't. I don't understand why I'm here. I'm a good person. I have not committed any crime. Can you please explain to me why I'm in a police station? Look, ma'am, your husband, he's just crazy. Can you just help us get him to calm the F down, please? That's all I got.
I've just been silent laughing the last 20 seconds just to make sure it didn't, come out on air. That was really good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I'm just glad I didn't actually have to laugh out loud at any point. That would have been awkward.
I got to work on that.
No, that was really good. And for an on-the-spot question as well, it was even better. So that's all of our questions to you today, Cissy. It's been a pleasure talking to you on the podcast.
Likewise, and thank you. And if I may just add one final thing. If you were a fan of season 1 and season 2 of The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us, alone, not to mention several other games, the sound engineer who worked on all of those games was just in a really terrible motorcycle accident, and he's currently in the hospital. His name is Jory Prum, and he is one of the most knowledgeable, kind, amazing human beings on the planet. So if you have time for well-wishing or prayers, if you're that person, please send one out to him. And if it's okay, I'll post the link for a GoFundMe campaign to help him with his recovery efforts. Every little dollar helps, but he could sure use a lot of love from all over the planet right now.
Of course, if you send me the link, I'll put it on our Facebook page.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you so much.
And on our website as well, while I think about it. And
Okay.
our thoughts go out to him and his family at this difficult time.
Yeah, thank you. It was totally out of the blue. He was not at fault, and it's just been crazy. But he's making improvements, and like I said, all the well wishing and love from around the planet certainly helps.
Yeah. And hopefully we can talk to you on the podcast again at some point.
Yeah, absolutely, anytime.
So I'll talk to you again soon then. Thanks again for joining us, Cissy.
Thank you, Ruari. I really appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
So, time to wrap up this week's podcast. Make sure to check out our podcast links. Check out our website.everythinggeekpodcast.com/EGP. Check out our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/user/everythinggeekcast. Check us out on Twitter, twitter.com/everythinggeek. Check us out on Instagram, instagram.com/official-everythinggeekpodcast. Check out our Mixcloud profile, www.mixcloud.com/everythinggeekpodcast. Email us at the below email, everythinggeekpodcast@gmail.com. Check out our companion podcast, Everything Geek Comiccast, www.facebook.com/everythinggeekcomiccast. Make sure to check out the hosts' YouTube channels. Mine is www.youtube.com/user/separatist-destroyers. Check out Cissy Jones's website, www.cissyjones.com, and check out Channel 138 Podcast Live from www.channel138.com. So geeks at everyone.